Um, and a TA coming out. Okay, I mean, TA into the Tiny is kind of like, it's here or
10
there,
seconds
but it
remaining.
also does do a lot of burst damage, right? So you're going to get good
5
value out of the
seconds
Maledict as long
remaining.
as the timing is on point. But honestly, when do you see yourself starting a team
Dire
fight
team ban. Radiant
and
team
having the
ban.
immediate burst damage to follow up? I mean, I'm just seeing a lot of things where it's like the exact sequence of events has to happen for UDV to take a successful team fight in my eyes, right? You need the Blink stun to come through from the Sand King. You need the Maledict before any BKBs are able to be popped. And then you need the TA to actually do the burst
10
damage to
seconds
follow up on
remaining.
everything. So you get value out of the Maledict. And that's essentially the only
5
way that I see
seconds
this Witch
remaining.
Doctor having an impact.
In regards to the Templar Assassin, are you expecting this to be a Ken TA or a JG TA?
I would say it's a Ken TA. I think position one is the way to do it, unless you're like an exceptional TA player like Yopaj has shown to be. I haven't really seen the same level of flexibility from Ken with like, maybe he might just play it in the mid lane, right? But and then JG goes into the safe lane and plays a more active style of hero. I think that could
Dire
certainly work.
team ban.
As to what hero that is, not 100% sure. They could Ricky
On who? UDV.
UDV. Feel like it's a good way to get a Rubik who likes to build aggressively. I feel
10
like if
seconds
the
remaining.
Death Prophet doesn't go for a 4-star or a Fuel Scepter, you can look to take him out
5
pretty quickly
seconds
as well.
remaining.
You've got mobility to be able to lessen Mars's impact. You're always going to be hitting him behind, or most of the time, so the Bulwark doesn't have quite as much effectiveness. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. Definitely with the matchups, it seems okay. I'm just intrigued on how a Ricky Witch Doctor lane works.
I mean, it is, again, it's all about the burst damage for mine, right? And Ricky is one of those heroes that's able to dish out a lot, especially early on into the game, right? As long as you've got level 2, Blink Strike, Tricks of the Trade, it's a good amount of damage if you can get them isolated away from the lane. And that's typically where
Radiant
you want to
team
be, right? If
pick.
you've got that paralyzing cask bouncing around, you don't want to be next to creeps. You don't want to be giving it another
Dire
opportunity to
team
stun you.
pick.
So I feel like you're going to get good value out of the tricks.
Lovely. We get a Pugna, the 4-2-3 Pugna, more than likely. So what's the play? UDV, they have the potential to go back into the Pango if you want to, but what's a better way to deal with the Pugna?
10 seconds remaining.
Sleep Dart on the Ricky?
5
I feel
seconds
like this Pugna's
remaining.
good in a couple of ways, right? One, because you're against a TA, right? So any way to just completely nullify physical damage, fantastic. Even the Death Ward, not going to be useful with the Decrepify on you. But also, if you do get the Maledict onto the Tiny or whoever, you just life drain them. You play a little bit more as that healing style, so the Maledict isn't actually going to be as big of a factor.
You also get a little bit of damage tick for the Templar Assassin Refraction. It feels like you're now very reliant on BKB, which TA always is, but it's going to be something that we have to look forward to for UDV. They're also on Dire, so I guess more camps for TA to farm, but it is difficult to enter the Roche pit. It's the pick for JG.
Ricky. On, let me see it.
I'm just concerned of how Yurito. Repeater did have a pretty good game on the Sand King. And they're going to go, they say, screw you, Ricky Pick. Let's just go something we're comfortable with. The Storm Spirit, JG plays this at a very high level, but it's a lot of control, so it's definitely not the most free Storm Spirit game.
It's a lot of control. It's a lot of silence. It's against a Pugna with Nether Ward as well, which is never the greatest. Not even just for the mana burn aspect, right? But also the reduction in spell damage now that the Nether Ward does, 25% once you've got it maxed out, I believe. So when you're considering you're coming up against a Sand King, a Hoodwink, a Storm Spirit that are very reliant on getting that damage out in a burst manner, can have a very high level of effectiveness. So I feel like this game, 99 times out of 100, it is going to be 4-2-3 that is priority number 1 for UDV to look to focus down. So be dependent on a lot of his positionings for Lilgun's success.
We do see some similar heroes for Lilgun, 3 out of the 5, but the pairings that they're providing with this enough for the recipe of success, or do we feel like UDV can send us to a game 3?
Oh, all right. Let me have another think about all this. I prefer the Tiny to the TA in terms of a carry. They don't have a steroid for it, which is a little bit of a worry. Um, their chain lockdown isn't amazing. Like it's better than it was in game number 1 for sure on
Oh,
Lilgun, but it
okay.
still feels like to me they need the Mars to be that initiator, right? It feels like a lot of things needed to go right for Lilgun in that game number 1 because they were almost entirely reliant on the Mars and Sanctity playing a little suicidal. So we'll see if UDV recognize that and perhaps look to set up onto a Tiny that's going solo into a full high ground setup. Uh, I don't see Witch Doctor having much of an impact this game. That's my main worry right now. Like it just feels like that should be an easy target to look to pick off at the start of every single engagement. Similar sort of thing with the Hoodwink now, especially now that you've got more lockdown on UDV, sorry, on Lilgun than previous. So I'm probably gonna say Lilgun for this one.
All right, so you're
For
edging
battle.
your bets, your tips over to Lilgun's side. You feel like it's going to be a 2-0. The question is, do I follow you? Do I agree with all the points you're saying? I don't know. Is someone getting slapped in that voice line as well? Are you hearing that? It's
I hope
either,
not.
yeah, I don't know. It's either a slap, a high five, something's crazy's going on there.
Did Will Smith film a voice line?
Maybe they combined with, whose voice line was it? Was it Lilgun's? Maybe they combined with UDV. Oh, the filthy
Oh yes,
dab.
hit him with it.
Oh no.
Look at that
Oh.
explosion as well. Zoom in.
Okay, hang on.
30 seconds to battle.
I can't go much further. No one's there. Wait, actually, can I do this? Oh. Okay, no. I don't have the capability like Pythian does to get these bird's eye view. Unfortunately, I apologize, guys. We'll get a little bit of close up as the lanes break out for the dab. 11. Oh, double bounce, but not as hype as we were expecting. So just once again, a 2-for-2 trade in the bounties. Okay, so now I get some time to think. Do I believe in UDV? I too am very concerned about the Witch Doctor. I do not think TA. I like a hero that can play very aggressively with the Witch Doctor. I think Maledict's a super strong laning stage ability, but I don't think the TA can fulfill that role. And they... I think Lilgun, you can take towers very easy. You've got a lot of team fight. Your lanes are strong. So I will follow suit in Lilgun. I'll follow suit. I reckon...
I'm very independent of you.
Well, thank you for that. I've always
No worries.
prided
Anytime.
myself in independence, and Rapido's taking a lot of damage.
I mean, it's what we saw in game number 1 as well, right? Like, he just lost the lane hard. But to his credit, came back in a big way, but this is the power of the Death Prophet, right? You could see him trying to get aggro onto these creeps just to pull them away a little bit, but just like, all right, pop, 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 just right in the face, and Lucify at least has been able to pull this lane right underneath the tower, so at least he'll get some levels here. Try and pull it behind the tower, but able to pull it far enough.
So, Pugged is a hero we don't get to see often. Do you feel like it has a little bit more of a favorable matchup against the Storm Spirit?
I feel like it's okay. I mean, you can certainly go for those kills early on, prior to the Storm Spirit hitting his level 6, but it does turn around the other way once it gets to that stage. So I feel like it's not necessarily a pickup for the landing stage. It's just what it's going to provide later on, right? The healing ward the nether ward very effective against a lot of the magic damage bursts that they've got coming through. Against a Storm Spirit that constantly wants to be spamming the static remnant. And even the
Does
Decrepify
JJ go for this?
Yeah,
Oh.
goes for it, but it's not going to work.
Both position 2s trading out a lot of damage, but we do have the water runes and bottle already picked up for 4-3, so they will be okay in the resource department. I think top is another lane we have to be concerned by, though. The Rubik and the Mars get a very strong power spike at level 2 with their kind of double stun and nuke potential from the Fade Bolt and the God's Rebuke.
And is harass Kishka here, trying to go for a kill. Has to be very careful about his positioning. He could have easily been lifted back underneath the tower. Spear off right next to the secret shop, but well, a lot of that aggression does give space for
mid lane,
TE to be able to get this pull off.
Okay, he doesn't have enough mana. We're chilling. JG doesn't drill.
Fortunate for Teehee there that he got still not as bad, but still the worst creep camp in the entire game. Be able to make the small pull happen. Kishka's got the Maledict onto him, and he might end up going down here.
He's gonna have to try and play
Poor
off the
kick.
Fairy Fire.
Oh, look at the vision,
Wait.
though. Like, he's playing so effectively around the trees. Nicely done by Kishka. I don't know how Teehee didn't scout him out.
I don't know either, but Kishka's an absolute boss. And they got full creep, equilibrium. 11's actually going to pull it under the tower, and he will think twice about that bottom lane. Rapido, once again, is giving over first blood over to the lads on Lilgun. A Sanctity finds it thanks to a tree throw from afar.
Even better than last game. Last game, it was Ace that ended up getting that first blood. So for Tiny just to be able to get the injection of gold, get a lot of your timings quicker, it's a big win.
Top lane,
So, oh, look
Ken,
at this. Spear back under the tower.
They've already been able to deal with the refraction. They're going to try and split
Although,
away,
turn
but
around.
they've still got to be cautious. Ken and Teehee combining together. But Radiant, they are very aware of ways to be able to deal with the Witch Doctor. Fairy Fire. Some of the ways to counteract it. We've seen both Kishka and 11 try and play off that.
And the Maledict just did straight up nothing there. That's the big thing, right? The range is so small. You don't want to put yourself in harm's way, especially as we keep saying into this kill lane with a Rubik and a Mars. You've seen what could potentially happen. You get a little bit too close there with Ken getting killed underneath the Radiant Tower. Trying to go for another pull here. I'm a little surprised that he hasn't been sticking next to this camp a bit more and actively trying to deny his own creeps, just because it's been so long since Ken's actually had a safe place to farm.
Yeah, it's been a bit awkward. Oh, Sanctity tossed back. Lucifier's going to get only one tower shot into him. Still a lot of damage out of the Hoodwink.
And just looking to walk around here with the creeps, making sure to reset the equilibrium on his own. A double range creep lanes, so they're very effective at to push that lane back out, but finally it's in a safer spot to be able to farm.
Again, with what I was mentioning before about my concerns about the Witch Doctor TA, it's kind of being revealed. I think the Witch Doctor's a really good hero versus strength in the lane. Is actually going to start to brawl. Ken playing off the back of the refraction and Teehee stepping on. 2 points in Maledict, so something 11's actually just going to stand his ground and look to get the kill before he dies, and he's able to fulfill that role.
It's just so slow, you know, that's my main concern, right? And it's slow without providing something else in the lane, the Maledict damage ramping up. It's not like an Ogre where you've got an Ignite, it's not like, hell, even a position 5 Venomancer where you can look to zone them away with slows and the like. It's a Witch Doctor that needs to be on the backline because you have no escape of your own and you're just so squishy.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how we really get the Witch Doctor transitioning into kind of the early to mid game, because it's very good against summon heroes, as nicely placed from Ace 12, is able to take away the Arcane from JG.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, we do see both the side lanes, though, a bit awkward at the moment from UDV. Like, Sanctity is demolishing bot. He's got about 1,000 net worth advantage. Top tier actually does have a bit of a net worth lead over the Mars. Nothing crazy, though.
No, nothing crazy. And
Do they kill
she's also
Rapido?
just been...
And he's really lining up these burrow strikes pretty perfectly. Holding back Sanctity, who's
She's also
just
got
going
the
to...
stick charges.
Hopefully he's not forced to use them. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Kishka is actually going to go down to Ken. Petit and JG standing nearby, so a bit of a freebie given over.
Yeah, I think he was just standing a little bit too close to the neutral camp there, so was able to get a couple of bounces off the paralyzing cast. So it's a nice little recovery coming through. Was it Ken that was able to pick up the kill? Yes, it was. That's the big
Teehee,
difference,
don't do
right?
it.
You mentioned before.
Don't go for the ward. That's a Pugner. You don't want to face check him. Great positioning
Dire's
though.
bottom tower is
And
under
they get the
attack.
D ward as well from Lucifer. Okay. So Witch Doctor has got Tranquil, just chilling.
But you just see the difference. You pointed it out early on that Tiny, Pugner, Death Prophet, plenty of ways to be able to take objectives on Lilgun. It really only is the
Zip
TA.
in, 4-2-3. Gonna be in trouble. JG combining with Lucifer, but Kishka, perfect position to try and offset this 4-2-3. Doesn't get a whole lot of health back. But he is not going to end up dying as simultaneously across the map. It's 11 dropping the arena. Bottom lane, we got Sancty and Ace 12 getting another kill onto Rapido Sand King.
Oh, look at that.
onto
What a great
JG.
clip.
Oh, 4-2-3. One more right click after the decrypt. Doesn't end up falling, but he runs back into the bushwhack as Lucifer from afar gets all the damage they were
Regen.
crying. You'd love the regen rune. JG, can he get it? No. They've now stolen away 2 power runes, an arcane and a regen from JG.
Under attack.
They just play it so well on these supports on Lilgun's side, just to be able to deny a lot of the effectiveness coming through. It was a fantastic use of the glyph as well. You had 4-2-3 life draining a creep. If you don't do any damage, you don't life drain anything, right? So meant that he was able to have slightly less HP, ends up going down still.
Mid though, catapult timing, 4-2-3, looking to utilize this perfectly. A silence after the
silence.
cask, so it's not really going to allow them to do much on Lilgun as 4-2-3 just pops to the magic damage. They are
A little bit too antsy there.
Rapido.
4-2-3.
Backstab Ace. Lucifer's already level 6. I don't think they need the epi. Just rely on Lucifer's ultimate.
Is under attack.
Plenty damage coming through.
Clincher.
Had the magic stick and could have got a spirit siphon off, but not deeming it necessary. Top side though, 11 continuing to have another good early game. So last game he was sitting 3rd on the net worth for a very long period of time, and he still feels like he's going to provide a similar level of impact to what he did in game number 1.
He's double bracer along with the soul ring here from 11. It's 2-1 and 0 at the moment. He does have the arena. Are you expecting Lilgun to maybe look to play top with the catapult wave coming out shortly? As bottom lane should be another kill on Rapido. Only level 1 bow, so doesn't get too much distance, but the tree actually doesn't get the connection. Nicely played from Rapido.
And interestingly enough as well, even though it's the identical lane that they're playing up into, last game Ace 2 points into the crypt just for that little bit of extra harass, but not this time around. Just hit up his level 6, so you've got that pushing potential, of
Dire's
course.
top tower is under attack.
I feel like if he had that, Rapido would have died another time. Well, looks like
Go
they're
for
trying to go
11?
for some kind of...
Top lane team has the death ward as well. Oh, they get a lucky bounce back of the cast too, so 11's gonna drop just the duo from UDV. They didn't even smoke up top as well, so very nicely played from the lads on die. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're eyeing up the Tiny. This time they will combine all their ultimates together, and we see how devastating the burst can be.
It's a real difference as well between game 1 and game 2 in terms of... It does kind of sound like a slap, doesn't it? The speed at which Lilgun are looking to play, right? It felt like they were getting maximum usage out of every single one of their exorcisms, even though it was only on a position 5, and Ace has essentially spent the last minute or so just walking around his own jungle, not able to make a solid decision.
It's also a Pugner lineup that hasn't taken a tower already, so a bit concerning, I would say, because Templar
Radiant's
Assassin
bottom
is getting
tower
a
is
lot
under
of farm
attack.
across the map. Top of the net worth
Dire's top tower is
for
under
my
attack.
boy Ken. What's he got now? Dragonlance working to the Deso.
Radiant structures.
They'll get
are
one tower
fortified.
eventually. Haven't got a siege crypt to play with for the mid lane, but see that
Radiant's
it's
bottom
good win.
tower
Run,
is under
team,
attack.
Just
run.
actually,
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, don't run that way! 11, does he look to drop the arena? Storm's gonna enter the fight from the northern side. Arena's laid down. It's only onto the Witch Doctor at the moment. He will be the first casualty of the fight, but do they still stick around though? Exo is soon to expire, but they're gonna be happy with that. They might transition it to mid though, so nice sequence of events for Lilgun.
absolutely, just looking to take away a lot of that security, that safety for the TA. Does she have any stacks available for herself now? I believe she just recently took them, so even if they were to invade into the triangle, isn't going to result in all that much. But still, a couple of objectives, key things to tick off if you're on Lilgun's side. And Sanctity is going a very similar sort of build. It seems like he is, not wanting to prioritize the Silver Edge, realizing that you need to prevent this hyper carry from becoming a factor. Consistently engage in onto the TA if possible.
And they can keep making space for Ken as well with this blink now on repeater. So they're going to smoke on UDV. It's a pretty good blink timing, honestly. It looked like the lane was struggling a bit for repeater.
I'm liking how much that Teehee is playing. Like right now, he's playing behind Rapido. Previously, he was playing behind the Storm Spirit. You need that reliable setup for your Maledict to be able to have any kind of impact this game. Like upside is where he's revealing a little bit here. Smoke. Pop.
I see Teehee.
And they see him.
Should know something's happening. Repeater's going to look to reveal the blink. But instant life drain usage from 423 is going to offset this attempt. So I imagine just a D ward and they don't get the conversion of that first blink attempt.
Hanging out on the high ground as well. So he's just like, look, just let me be here. They gank me, they gank me. Important thing is Sanctity doesn't die. There we go. Very easy D ward. Valuable experience as well.
How
it feels like their effective movements have come when they've played around JG. Right?
Repeater,
like
nice spear, 11. I don't know, we found an angle on that little cliff there, but gets the connection, gets the kill along with it. Now they're going to continue to trail into the jungle. JG should be more than okay. Let's see if he wants to drop the arena for Teehee though. Arena spear off the mark. T. He's going to look to stand his ground. They're backing onto the Mars. Sharpshooter from afar. That was actually enough to help out. Stolen from Rubik. And
he's dead,
is he going to tick? Yeah, no TP.
Yep.
Oh.
Real slow. They're on 4-2-3. This is what I was talking about, right? You need the heal to come through. Whoever gets Maledict. It was one of the big reasons why I felt they picked the Pug. The big three. Decrepify against the TA. Nether Ward against the heavy magic damage burst that they've got, but the third one was to counter that Maledict with the life drain.
They are still sticking around top. You're gonna have to rely on Dire just overstepping a little bit too far into like a telekinesis because you don't have to master gap close. That's what Repeater is exactly gonna do. Great timing of the blink. Kishka still positioning super aggressively. Holy, still Death Ward. He had Sharpshooter last.
Makes that very nice.
Very true. He's almost got, I think Aethelyn's now coming out on the courier as well, so it's gonna have a decent amount to play with here on Kishka.
Like they want to make it happen immediately. Up towards the top side, JG take out some more vision. Let's see. Are they going to go for a smoke here? They've got one available on the Death Prophet, and I feel like the area that they... So you need to be dealing with this TA. I mean, she's just continuing to snowball that net worth further and further. Once that Blink Dagger gets picked up, go time for UDV. What do they get? Are they going to be able to pick off the Pugna? And one aspect that we haven't even talked about just yet is
they're jumping 11. Repeater, long sharpshooter usage as well, so an instant kill. There's a counter Death Ward along with the Exo. I don't think there's a potential even to convert this into Roche, so very ambitious usage from Ace 12.
Maybe just feeling like he could have survived for that a little bit longer, but without the BKB, not going to be the case. Again, maybe a 4-2-3 is there. You get the healing save for it, but it's a position 1 Pugna, right? So you do need to be a little bit greedy this time around. Sure, the man is a very high-skilled Pugna player, but hopefully he knows how the Glimmer Cape works. He'll look to use it defensive. Got to make sure not to glimmer yourself because you end up healing less, basically, if you've got that magic resistance onto yourself.
They've got a sentry. They've got a sentry. They know exactly where he's positioning. A Shadow Blade reveal that does nothing for the position 1 on Lilgun. It's his second death of the game, and that's a huge one. That's now roast, I think, for Ken.
Absolutely. Got the Deso, why not? And this is what I was talking about, right? Just have a look at the sentry coverage coming through from UDV. It's very defensive. They know the way that Sanctity likes to play. As soon as they saw that Shadow Blade available for him, they were like,
Gonna
we're
look to
gonna
fight
punish
though.
this and make it
11
bad."
Arena onto the Sand King, so they're able to kill off repeatable, but long zip in from JG straight towards the Pugna, trying to take care of the medic through the fight, and he does so successfully. JG, what a play from him. All they needed from the Storm Spirit to turn this one back around, and now they're pursuing for more kills, but Counter Blink from 11 is able to reposition, but yeah, they're happy. They get some kills to
coming.
defend Roche.
Do they defend it?
I don't think he gets there fast enough.
Did not catch you littering, bro.
It's freed up an item spot, but yeah, no
Your
Blink
shrine
Dagger.
has fallen to the dire.
Oh, that's a big deal. Able to get a lot of those kills again. Pugna certainly not having the impact you would have expected this game. A couple of positioning issues, and you just see how different it is if they're able to get straight onto him. He is always going to be the main target that they're looking to go. Octarine Core, second item coming through, Blink Dagger after that. It feels very standard, but honestly, it's going to get to the stage where you just need that Aether Lens. Sorry, not the Aether Lens, the Aeon Disc to be able to survive, because all of the aggression is going to be coming your way.
In regards to Tiki, what do you feel like the reasoning is for going this first item Death Ward?
Well, like I was saying, like you are just very squishy in a lot of these team fights, and it makes you invulnerable. You just cannot hit him for 2 seconds, and that's the time that your team needs. Look at the positioning.
This
from Tiki.
aggressive smoke, but great position from the Witch Doctor. So he's able to set up for some TPs thanks to the information, just in case the further fight breaks out. So you think it's just more the invulnerability is a big reason why he went the Ag shot?
Yeah, of course. And you see a Death Ward, your immediate reaction is, oh god, I gotta get out of here, right? Even though it might be a voodoo switcheroo Death Ward, not the real deal. Ends up dealing a whole lot less damage, and it's, again, just a lot of that unpredictability in team fights, and lack of information can do so much. I've talked about it with, like, buying Lincoln Spheres to keep the enemy guessing. This
Radiant's
does a similar
bottom
sort of
tower
thing
is
for much
under
cheaper,
attack.
and makes you so much more survivable.
And it's such an
Radiant
awesome
are
name.
scanning.
Voodoo Switcheroo. That has to be one of the
course.
best ability names.
Oh yeah, I love it. This is one of the first items that I build whenever I play Witch Doctor.
It's definitely an undervalued support. Probably needs a little bit more buffs till we see him really played a lot. I'm really
Yeah.
surprised we're not seeing like the Chen and Enchantress as much. And maybe if that was the case, we could see kind of the rise of Witch Doctor.
Yeah, maybe. For me, the Witch Doctor, a big reason why people don't pick it is that it's the unpredictability. A lot of teams want certainty with their picks. So
Radiant's
something like
middle tower
the
is
Lion,
under
for example,
attack.
had such a long period of
Dire's
prominence
top
just because
tower is
you
under
knew you were
attack.
getting that Hex. You knew you were getting that
Radiant
stun. You knew you were
structures
getting
are
burst damage with the
fortified.
Finger of Death. And it was instant as well. The Witch Doctor, the cast could bounce wherever the hell it wants, and there's no
Dire's top
control that you
tower
have
is
over
under
it. Similar
attack.
sort of deal with the Lich.
Invisibility.
Radiant's middle tower
There's
is
just
under
a
attack.
measly band on the ground. Okay, Ken's going to pick that one up. And
Business ends up scouting out the smoke that came out from Ace as
Radiant's
well.
middle tower has fallen.
Ken's... Okay, doesn't run into them up on the high ground. So the Sage is very successful so far from UDV. 2,000 net worth lead. Multiple towers have been claimed as well. How concerned are we though for Lilgun?
If 423 isn't able to make himself more survivable, I am incredibly concerned, right? Because if Kishka's able to get that Aghanim shot, I'm feeling a lot better about things, right? Because he's got his Aether Lens, he's got 3 points in the Arcane Supremacy so far, soon to be his 4th, I would assume.
Oh,
Actually- oh, look at that
Rapido!
stun!
What a burrow to set up for the Bushwhack follow-up as well. All the AoE control and damage their hearts would ever desire. Quick and easy 1-2 punch, and now this tier 2 tower could be on the
Dire's bottom
agenda, but they don't have the
tower is under
greatest
attack.
position in the crit wave.
Just takes him further and
Dire's
further away
middle
from that
tower
Ag
is
shot,
under
right?
attack.
Like, it's so important this game. You need to be able to break up a lot of that chain lockdown. And honestly, Lilgun, they've been a little bit sloppy, just looking to play around each other a little bit too closely. You're up against a Sand King, you're up against a Storm Spirit, you're up against a TA, a Witch Doctor, a Hoodwink.
Radiant's
All
bottom
5
tower
of these
is
heroes
under attack.
want you to be next to each other. And there have been way too many times where 2 or 3 people have been caught out by a singular spell.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
At this stage of the game, you're going to continue to need to get as much farm as you possibly can. Probably stall out this Aegis and set yourselves up for next Roche. It feels like Lilgun at the moment, their fights have just been a bit off the mark, and partially this could be coming down to the vision advantage that TA can provide. We just haven't really seen them get the ideal fight for them.
Haven't seen the ideal fight. To be fair, they haven't really had the items to do so, but now they kind of do. You've got the BKB finished up on the Mars, you've got Aghanim Shard on the Rubik, you've got Aegis expiring, you've got lanes pushed out on top side, and you've got the vision. So I really feel like as the lines are getting drawn on the map, that's exactly where Lil gonna want to play. Power's kind of low as well, so at the very minimum, they should be trying to force out a
Dire's
glyph here.
top tower is under attack.
Nice scan. I don't know who TP, but it's TP currently. Second board in the ultimate as well.
The vision looking like they can't see anyone right now on the map.
Oh, he's going for this. Oh, how many hits?
They scanned it.
2 hits, you reckon? He's got to run into Tihi though. And Sanctity doesn't have BKB.
The
So
switcheroo.
instantly the invulnerability, Sanctity's still got to try and get the kill before he tries to escape. And Aria laid down controlling all of UDV, but now you don't have your main damage source in the Tiny. It's going to put them in such a tricky position to turn this fight around. As JT off to the southern side, zipping on forward, targeting 11. He's going to go for a TPR, but that's where Rapido blinks in, finds the control they would require, and 4 down for the cost of the Witch Doctor along with the tower.
I mean, it's a good outcome, of course, for UDV, but I just feel like that was a very sloppy team fight coming out there. You know, slow movement coming through from Lilgun, not taking immediate advantage of their timings, slightly off point with the use of the lockdown onto the Witch Doctor going for that kind of play when you don't have
Radiant's top
BKB.
tower is under
And
attack.
TA had her courier sitting there with the Daedalus on it for about 10 seconds in the middle of a team fight, and no one killed it. So she was able
Radiant's
to
top
win the team
tower
fight,
has fallen.
then pick up the Daedalus,
Invisibility.
then take a tower. It's... game 1 was good. This one, there's some sloppy
Radiant's
stuff
top
coming
tower
out here.
is under attack.
So not out of it yet though, but they are giving a lot of momentum over to UDV. 6,000 net worth advantage for the lads. And they are smoking down to bottom as well, where Ace... I don't know if a Ghost Scepter's going to help you out too much here. They don't want the Death Prophet though. I love this play. They see Sanctity farming the lane.
Yeah, he's the main priority. Oh, you're going to be the first one to catch it, but where's
Radiant's
the
middle
dust?
tower
Where's
is
the
under
dust?
attack.
Your smoke popped, my man. Oh, it's way too late.
JJ's onto Ace. Still trying to kill off the Death Prophet. They're able to do so, but now Sanctity turns the Tiny Arena along with the Life Drain, trying to keep him alive, but there will not be an opportunity. Without a BKB on Sanctity, you just can't do anything throughout these fights. As UDV, they want to punish them more and more as the casualties starting to rack on up. Walking to the last second, but that's where 11 can come into play. And with the lack of mana, JG is not going to think about just, waltzing up to the high ground.
And I really thought he would be feeding this game, but he is playing very well. Like, just a lot of his positioning, making himself very hard to kill, playing around these high grounds and getting some fantastic death wards as well. He almost did all of the damage that the Tiny took in that death.
He's balling out. 9, 6, and 5. It's sitting pretty solid in the net worth as well, considering. So it's just a completely different game. We haven't seen the Death Prophet, the position 5 for Lilgun, have as good of a game as what he did prior. I mean, he was like 5-1 and something at some stage, and Kishka as well just hasn't really been able to come online. We haven't felt the impact of his defensive 11? We haven't felt the impact of the defensive telekinesis as well.
Or the Pugna defensively, and
That's very true.
you might have just seen, but just in case you didn't, the you can't go for this, Ace.
Please.
Can't. It's too risky.
Sanctity, he's caught bottom though. They've got the centric control. They're going to drag him further back inside the range. And meanwhile, across the map, 4-2-3 just drops like that. All they needed was 2 heroes on UDV. And that's 2 cores gone. This game continuing to fall into a position you don't want it to be for Lilgun.
Yeah, and it's kind of fitting that Ken ends up being the one to kill 4-2-3, because that's what I was going to ask. Yes, it's not exactly like a true position 1 Pugna coming through here, but say mid, but like what's the difference in the levels between the two? Like that is the big thing that I'm wanting to point out here. This is a level 15 Pugna. I want to compare him to JG, I suppose. It's still 5 levels.
I mean, the fact that Ken's about to be 25 and we're not even 28 minutes in. That's
a level a minute. That's basically what the equation is right now.
Yeah, that's a concern. That's you got big issues. It's probably too big of them to be able to come back from, honestly. I mean, now a gem completed as well, so we're already speaking about the vision advantage that TA can provide, and now it's just going to be heightened even more from this item pickup.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They run into
Hold on to
loser
it,
fire.
Oh.
You're happy with the kill, but you gotta finish him fast before the rest of UDV show up. A bit too late to the party. Ken's up at the epicenter. They've got a DD on Ken though. Oh no. Not the recipe for success, but he's unable to really get into the middle. Great use of the Climber. Continuing to guide. Oh, Sanctity. A decrypt for the last second. And with the BKB's traded as well, 11 standing his ground with the bulwark. Last second, BKB's been kited. Do they want to go in on this though? TA still not falling low. 25 healed up in the backline, but they're finally able to kill off the Templar Assassin. But Rapido lands a drastic epicenter that might just clean up the fight. But they've got no more follow-up as Sanctity deals with the supports. That's a wipe, Danog. That's a wipe.
And that's the difference of having Decrepify have an impact in a team fight. You know, 4-2-3, he was fantastic that game, making sure to get the save onto Sanctity, enables him to come back around. Perfect use of the spear as well to be able to catch the TA right as the BKB's looking to expire. I'm gonna give up this Roche. Honestly, they're still lacking damage on Lilgun right now.
Well, they want kills instead. Sanctity, an instant jump out, recognizing he wants to add up the style points, not looking as Lucifer drops to his death. First hit bash.
3 bash to the face. It always is the case with Roche.
Oh, Kishka. Oh no. This Pogo sick down into this little awkward position. Dude, it's so slow. It's so slow. Are they gonna go back in?
They're waiting. It's like, are they waiting for exorcism? Are they looking to do something? I mean, at least with the Mars, there's a little bit of extra damage. I'm sure they're thinking, like, surely they're not still roshing, right? Like, they would have taken it by now. Maybe they're going for a smoke gank. Maybe they're going to try and catch us out. Actually, they are able to claim it. And, I mean, 11's been landing some solid spears so far, so to give him over the Aghanim Shard, very worthwhile.
Wow.
Albert as well. Got a game?
We have a game. We got Agel on Tiny, Shard on Mars. And it was the first time they were able to deal with Ken. And which is surprising, because he had all the refraction instances he would ever need, and BKB as well.
DD.
But that's true. They had a DD along with it.
Yeah, and look at what he's done, though. He's got the BKB already, so he's always going to be able to hit.
Sanctity. He's in a position where he's not caring anymore. He's been very worried with how he's been posturing on the map, but now, similar to game 1, if he sees a target, he's just jumping.
Yeah, and he's the one that's got the gem as well. Just saying essentially, oh, okay, oh, look at that. Even building into the enchanted quiver, just wanting that additional burst damage. Anything to stop the save potential from coming through. It's going to be so impactful.
Dire's structures are fortified.
They do see 11.
Walking around in vision.
Yeah, they should know the ward.
They should know.
Dire's middle tower.
Peter, does he commit with the epi that he's going to do? Sanctity on the backline though, disrupting JG. Storm, he hasn't chose a target just yet. Arena, oh, what an ultimate from 11. Locking twos into place, but Sanctity now has an opportunity to be able to start dishing out the damage off to the side. What? Ken's gone! Ken's gone! No buyback! They haven't killed Sanctity just yet! That's where the medic comes into play! What is that speed? Did they just win? Off the back of 2 fights? Sanctity, gotta be cautious. Just gonna tick, a buyback from JG, but he's out of mana now.
Dire's middle tower.
A long zip in from Kishka as well. They've been able to run into Rapido. He's got enough gold for the buyback, so Sankin can rejoin. And Ultra for Sanctity. JG's out of mana! Okay, he's chilling.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Oh man.
What's going on?
Radiant's
Just
bottom
how did this
tower
game get so out of control and
has fallen.
just going in onto high ground? They're saying, look, if you want to commit that heavily, very easily make some more pressure happen. Oh man, Kishka has the ball lightning stolen. I want to see him zip through this. I want to see him one-shot someone.
Oh, Sanctity's in again. Repeater just pulled back. A BKB, Kishka. Playing off the regen with the last tree. Applauses all around as Sanctity
Is under attack.
gets the Sand King down for 80. They still don't have Ken.
So in the
What?
TA's most recent death, Death Prophet, position 5 Death Prophet did 2100 damage to him. 2100. Half of it from Spirit Siphon, half of it from Exorcism.
Oh my, I hate this
This
death
is the
summary
power.
thing. I'm clicking and it's not popping up. Why?
Well, it was for me. You can believe me.
No, I believe you. I just want to show stream. There we go. Okay.
Dire's
Yeah.
top
So
barracks
we
has
mentioned in
fallen.
game 1, we'll mention again, a Death Prophet support does as much damage as what a core does, and it's stupid. And
They're
this,
doing the fake back. They're going for the fake back.
oh, and they're gonna catch out
Just
Ken.
serious
They're gonna
balls.
catch him out. They need a way to get an opportunity for the BKB, but the refraction's already starting to melt. Ken's back to the safety of the T4 towers. And now it's a lot of damage on Sanctity. Look at the cast bouncing back and forth, and Sanctity's gonna drop. Man, what a hold, UDV. They still stand their ground against the double back, and Sanctity, he doesn't have a buyback.
No buyback. He didn't make quite the Ken error from last game. Didn't buy too much time, but still going to... I mean, you've got two lanes pushing you out though, right? Top and mid. Both going to have super creeps that you're going to have to contend with, but it's with a TA and it's become desperate territory. Had the Rapier queued up for some time. He's looking to go into the refresher, maybe just feeling like, unless he's got that Black King bar. I mean, BKB is pretty damn important this game.
Rapier's better.
Radiant's middle tower
Losers go
is under
BKB.
attack.
Rapier or boss, baby.
What kind of damage does BKB? You know?
I know. It's not like it just enables you to right-click it all.
Radiant's middle tower has
No.
fallen.
Up they go. You'd love to deal with this
Radiant's
Nether
middle
Ward,
tower is under attack.
but you can't really put yourself in a position to do so.
You just see the difference, right, between the two lineups in maybe not Roche, but tower objectives. So much quicker for
Radiant structures
Lilgun to be able to
fortified.
take them. It's almost entirely reliant on this TA to be able to do that damage in onto the
Radiant's
high ground,
middle
whereas you've
tower
got
is
Nether
under
War,
attack.
Nether Blast, excuse me. You've got
Radiant's
Tiny
middle tower
being
has
his
fallen.
very appropriately balanced self.
He's not broken. What are you saying? How dare you
Oh.
speak? How dare you speak about Tiny like that? My guy is beautiful in his own aspects. Look at him, the Rockman, level 24, 11, 6, and 4, and they gave Sanctity to the Tiny once again, and could be the downfall for UDV. Deficit of 6,000 gold. Looks like we might have everyone grouping up around bottom. A lot of pings coming out.
So in 9 minutes, we had an 80% win probability swing, which is kind of nutty when it's this early into the game still.
What a bounty!
Like, I can expect that at, 50 plus minutes. Not at 35, not at 30.
Speeding really fast.
Sanctity's level 25 now as well, so he's got the toss charges, nothing crazy. Definitely not the greatest 25, if that's one thing to mention about
Dire's bottom
Broken
tower
Tiny.
is under attack.
It's not the worst. Ooh, Nullifier. What the heck? That's a...
Someone needed to buy it. Someone needed to buy it, and TA feels like she just needed the refresher instead. You need to be able to take out this the Decrepify.
Dire's bottom
You need to be able to
tower is
counter
under
Ghost
attack.
Scepter, and it feels like they have no way to get through these relatively hard to kill supports right now.
Scans on the
I
mark.
almost feel like Pugna is a support.
I know they're in the tree line. Look at T, he's positioning. Sanctity on the wave. Do they want to jump the Tiny? They're going to do so. Where's the save? A telekinesis down to the southern side, but JG continued to hunt. Without bursting
Alex
down, and
still
a
hit,
lot is
though.
being committed.
Careful,
Rapido.
he doesn't want to go in with this Maledic still onto it.
Oh, they're going into the Sand King instead. Ace 12 and a Grand Sip. What? Oh, yeah. You need the respect on the Templar Assassin. Up with the Tiny. Once again, though, Kishka. That's a huge play from the Rubik. Twice in that fight, the telekinesis save.
Yeah, and that was also the nullifier, right? Being used onto the Death Prophet. So no Force Staff, no Ghost Scepter. They're not going to have any kind of effectiveness.
Of course, he got a leveler. Like, why not? Why?
And I mean, it also dissuades the DP from going into the Yule Scepter, right? It's not like he doesn't normally go this Blink Dagger build on it. He did it last game, but it just makes his life a whole lot more challenging now. So this game is heavily on the back of... We talk about these big cores, you know, Ken on the TA, Sanctity on his Tiny, but for mine, this game is on the back of JG and
Kishka?
probably Kishka.
Put out on the river from JG. Long zip protecting the arcane. Oh, that's perfect. That's what you want. It could be a fast Roche spawn. Let's see. 5 seconds, so they keep scouting.
And JG, he still wants to be just zipping around a lot of these engagements. He's got the Arcane Blink queued up here. So not as strong as what it used to be, but pretty good.
It's hype.
Be the first time I've seen it in a pro game, actually.
Yeah, same actually. Well, with the changes and on Storm in general.
Yeah.
So it feels like Storm's... Have you ever seen anyone else, like even in pubs, just go for the Arcane Blink?
The new one?
Yeah.
No, basically just Storm.
Yeah. Trash item.
Maybe a Lesh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We'll see.
Lilgun, they're hanging around the Roche pit right now. Has the potential to respawn, but it was basically the longest possible time, 2 minutes 50 seconds, I believe. So will that allow both teams to be able to do the Crepify now has a longer duration as well for the Pugner. Not sure if that's the best choice now that you've seen the Nullifier come out, though. Means that you know, perhaps the Life Drain heal would have been a better choice, a better use, excuse me. Talent choice. It does feel like they're just going to go full on into... It's all about the burst. It's all about being able to lock someone down and kill them entirely without them being able to pop the
long
DK.
zip. Sancti. Initial jump. Spear follow-up. But a great pushback actually holds back the Tiny, so Sancti doesn't get full usage out of JG's control. They're going to look to go back in, utilizing the arcane, but Sanctity is running away instead of running forward, playing with the BKB, but JG's out of mana. It will not matter though. Oh, maybe it will. The Life Drain toss up to the northern side. Rapido. Ultimate out. Sanctity falling ever so low, but a double toss. Storm's gone. And Sanctity. What?
The vessel?
They need to limit it down to pushbacks out. They just get the kill, but the cost, it's ever so grave. Oh, it's a costly one. There's Teehee. I think they got a glimpse. Yes,
Oh, they found him.
Oh, they did.
No? Oh.
Invulnerability will not matter
switcheroo.
afterwards. The 11 Mars gets the double. What a fight.
The power of the Life Drain, defensive heal. You know, again, very nice fight taken by Kishka too. Just the use of that telekinesis save to break up the team fight. And I love the fact that he's made himself, again, hard to kill. The Aeon Disc, forcing a Nullifier to be used onto you instead of the Death Prophet just amplifies the effectiveness of Ace so much.
Sand King's caught out mid.
No gem, though. Who's holding the gem? Ace?
Don't know.
It is.
Dire's middle tower
Ace is holding it, but he wasn't part of it. I mean, I don't feel like you can end this game without the Tiny. You got the Siege Creep Wave, and you got a Pugner, but I mean, it opens you up to Rat potential, I suppose. Well, okay, if you can force out the Glyph, that's a big win for mine. I'd look to retreat and play around the Roche pit, secure that sort of area.
Yeah, what's the play? TA's got buyback, Storm doesn't. They might get both tier 4s and just back off afterwards. They might.
Maybe not even
Or
that.
they might just own. You gotta go in, UDV. You gotta go in. Repeater's gonna do that, jumping the medic on the back line. But once again, Kishka with the telekinesis is able to reposition 4-2-3. And now the Tiny. Wait, Tiny might just go for the throne. He might just go for the throne if he wants to BKB forward. Sanctity needs a tree. 11 right next to a Sanctity's gonna blink on full. Lilgun do it. Oh, they do it. The throne once again. Oh, again, Danog. It's just the jugular, the call. Objective-based gaming. That's what Lilgun favor today.
And twice in a row, they're able to do it just as the TA is looking to respawn. Like, they're playing on the edge and against one of these teams that, again, they are pretty similar standard to, I would say. You know, this game could have really gone either way. Such a big swing in either team's favor. 90-10 it was for UDV to be able to take out this one, but Lilgun still able to get the win in the end. Convincing 2-0 at the end.
Yeah, oh, convincing? Because that game was a bit scary. It was a good series, very good series from Lilgun.
It was a convincing closeout, let's say.
Well, it's an important one for them as well. It's especially with how they started their season on Lilgun. Now the position they're in, they are 2-2, and they're starting.
Gotta keep winning.
They have to. That's the main thing. You have to keep winning if you want any hopes of being promoted to Division 1. I think you have to go flawless for the remainder of the season.
At the start of the season, I was honestly even tempted to put. I wouldn't have put RSG in my top tier. I would have put Lilgun as like one of my top 3 hopes, and I would still probably put them third. But just their results against RSG and Talon, pretty convincing losses. So it means that one of those two teams that I previously mentioned needs to perhaps lose a series or two in surprising fashion to, at the very minimum, force a tiebreaker. But I feel like Lilgun, they have the chops to be able to win every single series that they've got remaining, because I'm pretty sure they've got the 3 easiest quote-unquote teams left in Army Geniuses, Motivate Trust, and the Apes, if I'm not wrong.
They have... Yes, that is correct. Army Geniuses, Apes, along with Motivate. So you are right. And we've seen Motivate really struggle. Apes are 0-3. And I guess it's going to be interesting to see how they can also shape up. Who was the Army Geniuses also 1-2. So I don't know. I think on a...
And that one was against Apes, right? So
That's
it's
true.
like...
Yeah.
You know,
how valuable is not valuable, but how much does that really show?
It's
how
valuable
strong
for
they
them.
are?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, really decisive win in the end for Lilgun, being able to make that solid decision and say, "This is what we got." Have an interview. That's the question, because it did go at 2-0, so we have time for it if got a player that might be looking to do so.
Yeah, the Mongolian lads have always been a little bit shy though from Lilgun, so we'll see. We are waiting just for the potential that we do get one. I guess we can speak about our next series though. It's going to be TNC up against Talon. That's a high one. That is an exceptionally high one. Any expectations for that?
Talon 2-0.
Yep. All right.
That's my expectation. They've been looking so strong, man. Like just the cohesion seems to be on point. From what I've heard from interviews and discussions, it just seems like much more of a chill vibe this season when compared to season 1. And clearly that's working for them. You know, they've got 23 Savage, who's been performing excellently. I think we've really seen an upswing in Makoto's performances as well. There've been a couple of times where he has straight up carried a game with Storm Spirit in particular.
Which is, you always love that when you've got a high caliber position 1 like Savage, but when he can maybe take a back seat in some games and not be under the pump as much, and Makoto can take the reins. We've honestly just seen everyone have to always give props to Q, just his transition to position 5. We got to cast a lot of Motivate games, and he's been looking really good, and also not comfortable with the language barrier, but we see he's really looking to learn. For TNC though, this is important. Like, this is the biggest test for them in Division 2, and they need to prove themselves, because last series against Lilgun, they looked really shaky. And this is a team that, again, have a ridiculous backing from a huge Southeast Asian organization. And they would be honestly expecting to be back in Division 1.
I don't think it's going to happen this season.
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest. You know, this is the season of RSG and Talon for mine. And, I mean, TNC, shock me. You know, see if you can pull a rabbit out of the hat and change up outcome, which I don't want to say it's a foregone conclusion, but it's certainly looking very strong for those two teams who are currently sitting undefeated. We didn't even talk about our boy KP as well, playing for Talon.
Sure.
It feels like a lot of his heroes have started to come back into the meta. I mean, he's one of the few players that back in the day played the offlane Omni Knight, and he's making it work for them again. So I like that. The Brewmaster changes, I'm sure he's going to be a big fan of that. He's still playing the Doom, his Legion Commander, all these sort of like baity style heroes that are very tanky, very survivable, but can enable a quick turnaround. Seems like his real forte.
Yeah, I think Talon they've always been a really fun team to watch so far in Division 2, especially in Spring Tour, of course. But TNC, again, it's a question they've been contested, but this is really the biggest test for them. And it's just, I'm agreeing with you that it's probably going to be a 2-0, but we'll see. This is where your season is now on the line. If you beat Talon, you are in a position where, all right, we can start talking about TNC maybe being able to be promoted. Because what? At the moment, they're 1-1. They've played the least amount of series along with UDV, who just played. So still, there's not a lot of information on them. Of course, scrims, people are going to be going off, but I guess that is our Division 2 series. We also have a Division 1 series, which I need to remember what it is now.
T1 Execration.
Okay, you're already on the ball. Thank you very much.
No worries. That one is pretty important as well, right? It's not obviously T1 top 8 at TI, very high performances at different ESL events, at the Animajor, etc., etc. Haven't looked quite so hot this season, though. You know, they ended up losing that series against Polaris, and it was certainly one that they weren't expecting to drop. And also, Execration. I mean, if they lose this, they're going to be 0-4, I believe, and that would, I don't want to say almost guarantee that they're going to drop back down into Division 2, but it would certainly put them on track for it. And it was not something that I was expecting coming out of this roster. This was a very solid roster, in my opinion, a big improvement as well off of the one that they had last season.
Yeah, I think the main thing to mention is that we weren't expecting them to be kind of towards the top, but we were expecting them to be towards the middle because we had the opportunity to see them in QH, OEDC, Pro Series, and we saw with the addition of Shanks, addition of Tino and Palace as well, they were actually looking like a really good team. A lineup that had the caliber to be in Division 1 compared to the previous roster. So I'm very surprised at how they've been performing. If they can hit back against T1.
What are you saying about what are you saying about Nando, bro? What are you saying about BDZ, bro?
You're putting words in my mouth. I'm not saying anything directly about them. You said the same thing. So dude, shut the hell up, Danog.
Not publicly, though.
Stop trying to get me in trouble. What? Everyone said it. The last Execration roster, they struggled. This Execration roster is still struggling. So obviously nothing much has changed, but I like the boys and hopefully they can pull something out of the hat and still stay in Division 1. But for us, unfortunately, we do not have an interview. So it's going to be Lilgun taking the series 2-0 over the lads on UDV. A really big series for them. Again, we've mentioned they probably need to go flawless for the remainder of their series, which they do have the potential to do so, to have an opportunity to maybe be promoted.
Yeah, absolutely. But make sure you stick around here. We got 2 more Series 1 Division 2 being covered by the panel at the studio as well. So that's always great to see some Division 2 action, get a lot of that focus. And then, of course, the T1 Execration series come after that. So some star-studded rosters. I'm keen to see how it all shapes out.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in chat. Danog and I will both be in chat as well, so come say hi. But for us, we are done for night. Stick around. Next series in about half an hour. So we got more Division 2 action coming your way.